first case, Chinatown, Cao Wang Temple. The victim is Uncle Seb's grandson, Jason, Chinese male. The killer took his heart. Lao Qin!
Good afternoon. Thank you for creating time for us. You are in time for the latest updates, not only locally, but also across the borders. This is KBC. You're watching the Lunchtime News. My name is Irene Muchuma. On sign language interpretation, we have Byron Abuli. It is the 16th day in the month of November 2022. 4 days to the World Cup. Let's interact on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. KBC will be bringing you mouth-watering matches live from Qatar. We kick off on a sad note this afternoon following the collapse of a building in Kasarani yesterday. Yusuf Farah is on that bit. Farah, good afternoon. I understand Nairobi governor was there during this morning hours, probably to check on the situation after the building collapsed yesterday. What is the latest update that we have, Farah?
Indeed, Irene Muchuma, very good afternoon to you there back at the broadcasting house. We are coming to you live from Kasarani sub-county. This is the site where yesterday in the afternoon this 7-story building collapsed, and from last night until this moment rescue operations are still ongoing. We were able to speak to the area deputy county commissioner, and he brought us to speed. As of yesterday, 16 people were rescued, taken to hospital to be attended to and all of that. At around 2 a.m. leading up to today morning, two people were found in the rubble. One was taken to hospital, one unfortunately died. But as of now, Irene Muchuma, as we were here, with another body was being brought out of this place. So 3 people confirmed dead. From here, 4 are still missing. So the rescue operations are still ongoing. In the course of the day, the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has been able to come here in the company of the land CS Zakaria Mwangi, and they're saying they will be using this as an example to those who are seeking to be building, to setting up businesses, buildings like this rather, without getting the necessary compliance certificates, without getting the licenses, because this building apparently, what we got from the from the NCA rather, is that there has been stop orders for this building. Not once, not twice, but 10 times. There is a court order at the Makadara Law Court involving this building that has been issued to stop. Yesterday, the NCA was here trying to stop the people. They issued another stop order, but they're accusing the proprietor of this building of impunity, continuing to build even when they're told not to build. And subsequently, it is what led to this. So the governor says, going forward, setting up of buildings without getting the licenses won't be allowed, and any person found culpable, no matter who they are, they will be met with the full force of the law. So rescue operations are still here. Red Cross is here. We have the Kenya Defence Forces we have the Kenya Defence Forces Disaster Response Battalion is here. We have St. John Ambulance and everything. So we will be camping here to bring any more updates from here. But for now, back to you in studio, Irene Muchuma.
Thank you, Farah. Farah Yusuf reporting live from Kasarani. After a building collapsed yesterday, 2 people have succumbed and rescue operations are underway. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja was earlier at the scene. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Bwana Governor, yuko na jambo la kusema.
Okay. Labda yangu ni kuongeza kidogo pale waziri ameachia. Kwanza ni kusema pole kwa familia za wale ambao wamepoteza maisha na wale wameumia. Tayari tumepata wale ambao wamefariki. Kuna wale wa hapa, kuna msichana ambaye alikuwa anauza chakula na ni wa hapa Kasarani. Wengine ambao wanafanya kazi hapa wametoka maeneo mengine ya Nairobi na waliamka asubuhi wakija kutafuta riziki yao. They just woke up trying to earn a living and they lost their lives. This is caused by corruption and impunity. We pass our condolences and our sympathies, and we'll find a way to support those families. But this must be an example, because I know there are many such buildings, many such constructions that are going on in Nairobi that have been happening. This building had an enforcement notice starting from last year and this February. In fact, on the same day yesterday, NCA were here, they closed down the site, but the contractor knows that in such cases you just go on and you pay a few people here and there and you go on. So from the county, we're going to take action. First of all, the developer must be charged in court. In fact, Waziri, we will ask the police and the DCI to find that developer who knows he should not be building a building in this way. The standards of materials are wrong. He did not get any permit from the county. There was an enforcement notice, but because of impunity, decided to go on. He needs to be charged with murder, because that is murder. All of those who know they are going on with such construction, I want to put them on notice. Just pull down those buildings yourselves, or let us come for you. Because in search for profits, you're endangering lives. How much money can replace the life of those who have lost? How much money? You know, you're using the wrong materials, you're using the wrong, the wrong building standards. Yet our country has standards of building. I know this problem has been there for very long. People have said many words. I was there in 2016 in Uruma when we lost 47 children and women, mainly, when a building went down. The former president was there, many people came, spoke tough, nothing happened. Now that we're in charge, let's not say much, you will see the action. Already we have changed our technical approval committee in Nairobi County. We'll be issuing the new names today, and we're conducting the investigation. If I find any officer from Nairobi County having been culpable at any point, they will go home and they will be charged. I think I'll leave it at that. I'll ask the MCA is here, Samora, and the MP Karauri are also here. Maybe they can say something. But I want to assure the MCA and the MP that on our side, we will take action. That Waziri has committed for us to have a multi-agency team to review. NCA does a report that they normally send. I would like to see that report today, so that we see which buildings we take action on, and we'll take action immediately. Samora.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja addressing members of the press at the scene where a building collapsed in Kasarani yesterday. 2 people have succumbed to injuries. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja saying that the law will take its course. He says the developer will appear in court 4 charges. Now, to security concerns, security agencies have intensified security patrols across the coastal city of Mombasa and its environs as the festive season and New Year celebrations drew closer. Mombasa County Commissioner John Otieno asked residents and visitors to be vigilant during the festive season, even as the government scales up security measures across the region.
Mombasa County Commissioner John Otieno said there was no information about any imminent threat to peace, but security agencies were not leaving anything to chance. He called on hoteliers, proprietors of entertainment joints, and shopping malls to beef up security checks on persons and vehicles during the festivities. He further said police will cover areas targeted for opportunistic crimes, particularly shopping centers and crowded areas, while monitoring the beaches and offering help in cases of emergencies.
Wakati wa December tunakuwa na wageni wengi, hasa watalii. Wale wanakuja kututembelea katika mabeaches zetu, na lazima tudhibiti hali ya usalama ili watalii wakija watembelee hizi beaches bila wasiwasi wowote ule.
The county commissioner assured residents and tourists visiting the coastal city the security agencies have put in place adequate measures to enable them celebrate Christmas and New Year without any hitches. He said neighborhood watch committees, such as the Nyumba Kumi initiative, have been activated in all 6 counties of the coastal city to work hand in hand with the police to combat crime.
Lazima pia tutaendelea kushirikiana zaidi na wananchi. Hali ya usalama haiwezi kuimarika bila kuhusisha wananchi. Kwa hivyo nataka nihimize wananchi waweze kuungana nasi na kikosi cha usalama katika kaunti hii ili tuweze kudhibiti hali ya usalama katika kaunti ya Mombasa.
Meanwhile, Otieno said they have formed a multi-agency security team to crack down on criminal gangs that have been terrorizing residents of Kisumu and Likoni sub-counties. The county commissioner confirmed the arrest of a notorious gang leader responsible for terrorizing Kisumu residents.
Wiki jana na wiki hii tumekuwa na cases kama 2 hivi upande wa Kisumu, na wahusika jana tulimshika mmoja, na hawa ni wale vijana ambao walikuwa wamewekwa ndani gerezani, lakini baada ya kumaliza kifungo walitoka na wakarudi wakajumuika na wananchi wa kawaida. Basi wakaendelea tena na ile tabia yao.
Collins Shadrack for Lunchtime News.
All right, to environmental concerns, Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o is this afternoon leading a forum on climate change adaptation in the county of Kisumu, one that is also aiming at ensuring improved cleanliness in the county of Kisumu and also the greening of the city. My colleague Wycliffe Okech is this afternoon engaging the governor. Wycliffe, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon to you, Irene, Muchuma, Odima. Back in Nairobi, we are, of course, coming to you live at this minute from the lakeside city of Kisumu on this momentous day, actually. As we talk about climate change, you do know that climate change is quite a big topic right now, given the COP27 that is currently underway in Egypt. And, of course, down here, we also have to adopt measures, to adopt and assume resilience in the fight against climate change. Also, devise ways to cope with it. And today, the governor of Kisumu, His Excellency Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, has launched a very important initiative here, dubbed the Kisumu City Initiative, Greening Initiative here, that will, among other things, see the planting of so many trees here around here. And without talking much, let me just talk to the governor himself, actually, to brief us about the project and how do they intend to carry it out. Governor, good afternoon and welcome to KBC Channel 1.
Good afternoon very much, and I'd like to greet the people of Kenya who are watching me this afternoon. That yes, we have launched a very important program today, that on the 10th day of every month, everybody in Kisumu County will be planting a tree somewhere. Now, this is because our forest cover is very small compared to international standards and even Kenyan standards. We only have 18.8% forest cover in Kisumu County. This is an improvement over 5 years ago, but that's not enough. We would like to have at least 75% forest cover, at least, because we are capable of doing so. Now, you know that global warming means the globe is warming. There is more heat than we need. So we need to cool it. And the best way to cool it is plant more trees, because trees bring cool weather. When you are walking and you are sweating, you go under a tree to cool down. And therefore we want everybody to cool down now by planting a tree, so that we can have less carbon emission or carbon dioxide into the air and more oxygen. This will mean the revival of many species, actually, which just appeared. Species in terms of plants, species in terms of insects, species in terms of animals. Now, of course, this may lead to some species which are not very, very friendly to the human being, but who says that human beings will be only living thing on the face of the earth? Therefore, we should realize that our past action of falling trees down and making the country drier and hotter is against the future of humankind and ourselves. So in this county, we have taken this bold step. We have organized the county in such a way that every neighborhood in the city will be planting trees on the 10th and looking after them. In the countryside, village councils and village administrators will be the primary deliverer of this project, and the ward administrators. And we ask every responsible citizen of Kisumu County to know that it is not just for the Kisumu government saying so, but you as a citizen must have the responsibility of fighting global warming by planting trees.
Well, you mentioned probably you have maybe the private partners that you are engaging in this project?
Very fortunately that we have a very conscious private sector in Kisumu, who the private sector which realizes that it is not for the government to do it for us, it is for us to do it together with the government. And in that regard, I'm appealing to the media to work with us, to sambaza this information to the countryside so that people can work together.
Thank you. I will excuse you for that. Thank you. Well, Muchuma, that is Kisumu Governor Professor Nyang'nyong'o talking to us there about the initiative that he has launched this afternoon. It is dubbed the Kisumu City Greening Initiative, that is meant to probably sensitize locals here to plant trees as a way to build a resilient response to the topic of climate change. Irene, that is not the end of this conversation. We'll of course compile a comprehensive story from that event, and of course our viewers should expect more of this. Back to you, Irene, back in studio.
Thank you, Wycliffe Okech reporting live from the county of Kisumu. He has engaged the governor from the region. This as the county intends to improve its forest cover. This also in line with the government's initiative of ensuring we have 10% forest cover. To other news, a section of legislators is pushing for a constitutional amendment bill seeking to create additional counties in Kenya, led by Ijara Member of Parliament Abdi Ali Abdi and ODM nominated Member of Parliament Umi Harun. The lawmakers want Ijara County to be carved from the existing Garissa County, saying it has enough resources to generate its own revenue to run the county. And in Kisii, Bomashoge Chache constituency, legislator Alpha Miruka is sponsoring a bill seeking to create Gucha County. Timothy Kipnusu has the details.
The push to create more counties in Kenya is gaining momentum, with yet another 3 legislators joining the bandwagon to add more counties through a constitutional amendment. The second youngest Member of Parliament, Umi Harun, age 26, with his youthful counterpart Abdi Ali Abdi, are now pushing for Ijara County to be formed from the existing Garissa County.
Ijara, it was in the first national plan of 1967 to 1972. That is when it was identified as a district.
And we are requesting and lobbying to also be in the discussion to be a county on our own, because we have so much that we have to offer to this great country.
According to the lawmakers, the additional counties will not further burden the taxpayers, as the formula on revenue sharing will be applied.
And we want to be part of the motion. It has the goodwill of the assembly. It has the goodwill of most of the members. What we are requesting is that Ijara County to be included in the bill, and we want to support it fully, 100%, because we believe Ijara is in a strategic place whereby, because we border Somalia to the east.
So even as a motion is brought on the floor, we will stand firm behind it, and we will also request for our voice to be heard, because we have been part of that discussion. The early districts that were formed, as much as we were not declared, we were carved out. So that is something that has to be relooked even when we discuss matters history back in the day.
Meanwhile, Bomachoge Chache constituency legislator Alpha Miruka is sponsoring a bill seeking to carve Gucha as a county from the existing Kisii County.
Gucha is a very old district, but because of some, I can term it as a lack of political goodwill, it was not part and parcel of the counties which were formed. Remember, the counties which were formed in the current constitution, haikuwa na any formula. They just, the one who had that idea picked the existing districts to be counties. Now, that's why others are suffering and others are enjoying.
So far, 7 more counties have been proposed to be added to the existing 47. Just last week, Kuria East Member of Parliament Marwa Kitayama also proposed the addition of 5 counties through a constitutional amendment, namely Kuria County from the existing Migori County, Teso County from Busia County, Mount Elgon County from Bungoma and Trans-Nzoia counties, East Pokot County from the existing Baringo and West Pokot counties, as well as Mwingi County from the existing Kitui County.
Ugavi wa rasilimali, ugavi wa mamlaka na mambo yote ambayo yanahusiana na ugatuzi bila sisi kuyasukuma sisi wenyewe. Hakuna mtu mwingine ambaye atafanya kazi hiyo. Na kwa sababu hatutaki kuendelea kubaki omba kwenye makaunti ambaye gatuzi constitution lituweka, tunahitaji kwamba tukatafute njia tofauti ambayo inatuwezesha sisi kuwa katika katiba.
Timothy Kipnusu for Lunchtime News.
All right, plans to secure the 2022 national examinations are in top gear across the country. Teso South Sub-County Commissioner Isaac Katar says that enough police officers were in place to ensure that every school is well guarded during the national exercise. The Kenya Certificate for Primary Education is scheduled to start on Monday, 28th November 2022. We'll be getting details on that story later on in this bulletin. Right now, we cross over where the Kenya National Union of Teachers is having a press briefing. Let's listen in.
Our teachers in ASOL areas should be considered like other teachers, and they should not work in those ASOL areas without proper incentives. We know why they work there, because there are teachers in those areas who can actually be posted in those schools in numbers. So those who volunteer to work in ASOL areas should actually be facilitated properly, because their working conditions are not the same as the rest of the country, and incentives should be given. Yes, you know the country is now hungry. We don't have funds. But this one does not take us away from taking care of learners and teachers in drought-stricken areas. And we are saying, we said as a union, as a recommendation, that there should be supply of food to those learners in the drought-stricken areas. And this one complements very well with the government's approach in feeding the very hungry in those counties. So basically, those are some of the issues that we brought up, and we also mentioned clearly to the working party that as a union, we are not interested in the duplication and the rift between the Ministry of Education and Teacher Service Commission. Let every other, the commission to take its role, and the ministry also to take its role. And finally, duplication of the roles of quality assurance. It is in the ministry, it is in Teacher Service Commission. We are saying that there should be an independent team that should handle quality assurance. I think this is not the last that I would like to place before you. Majorly, there is transition from grade 6 to grade 7. That one translates to domiciling of that grade to junior secondary. But we've lumped it up as junior secondary being grade 7, 8, and 9. We have a very comprehensive proposal and recommendation that junior secondary, that is grade 7, 8, and 9, should be domiciled in primary schools. I think that is one that should go out and take it as the major point of my, of our discussion here. If you so wish, let it hit the headlines of tomorrow's papers to say, junior secondary be domiciled in primary schools and have facts.
Not Secretary General Collins Oyu giving proposals on how the teachers want the education system operate, or if you like, improved. Now, tomorrow we are marking the World Prematurity Day, and this afternoon in this bulletin we'll be discussing health matters ahead of tomorrow. For now, we're taking a short commercial break. Continue interacting with us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1, World Cup Eco KBC. See you on the other side.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
November like never before. Mouth-watering programs. Maza takes a break, and in comes football extravaganza. And a bouquet of the best of movies from the Orient lined up for you. Oh yes, November 2022 is like never before. Only on KBC Channel 1.
لطالما كانت رحلة الأسطورة يطوي الليل لتروي لنا القصة. تعانق روح من تقابل. ومنذ بداية البطولة أسفرت لنا عن أبطال وأباطرة وملوك في خضم المعارك الملحمية وصدمات الجبابرة. ينمو الشغف حد الازدهار ويتركون إرثا ينتشر كالنار. أثار الأقدام على الرمال ترشد الأسطورة إلى سرابنا الخلاب. من سيحوز المجد ويكتب الفصل التالي من هذه القصة التاريخية. أسطورة كأس العالم فيفا.
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the Lunchtime News. Now, plans to secure the 2022 national examinations are in top gear across the country. Teso South Sub-County Commissioner Isaac Kater says that enough police officers were in place to ensure that every school is well guarded during the national exercise. The Kenya Certificate for Primary Education is scheduled to start on Monday, 28th November 2022.
Ahead of the second phase of the 2022 national examinations, measures have been put in place to prevent cases of leakage and ensure the safety of all candidates and invigilators. Teso South Sub-County Commissioner Isaac Kater says that there are enough security personnel to man the examination centers, with each school set to be given 2 security officers.
Tutaweka maafisa ya kutosha kulingana na ile sheria ambayo iko ya kwamba kila shule iwe na maafisa wawili ambao watakuwa wanalinda kwanza hiyo mtihani, na pili wale wanafunzi na wale wahusika wote katika hiyo mtihani.
Local chiefs will also be deployed as part of a multi-agency team to remote areas. This coming as Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers Busia County Secretary Moffat Okisai urged the Kenya National Examination Council to improve the payment of invigilators so as to motivate them during the exercise. The national examinations come amid an increase in cases of insecurity in parts of the country due to banditry attacks that have affected learning activities. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki issued a stern warning on Monday, saying that such cases will not be tolerated.
These marauding gangs of few citizens have dared the government of the Republic of Kenya. And the message they have been trying to send has reached us. We have heard them. And we are going to go to their hideouts. We will look for the criminals and do to them what the law says we do to criminals in accordance with the law of our country and all other applicable international laws.
The Kenya Certificate for Primary Education examination is scheduled to start on Monday, the 28th of November 2022 and end on Wednesday, the 30th of November 2022. The Kenya Certificate for Secondary Education KCSE candidates will sit their first theory paper on Friday, the 2nd of November 2022. Their last paper will be on Friday, the 23rd of December 2022. The school calendar was disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic, leading to 2 national examinations in 2022 to salvage the time lost. Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
All right, time for us to get to that interactive segment. Tomorrow, the world will be marking the Prematurity Day. And this afternoon, we are discussing health matters ahead of tomorrow. With me on set is Caroline Mwangi, the head of Division of Neonatal and Child Health, Ministry of Health. Welcome on set. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tomorrow, we are marking the World Prematurity Day. What is the importance of commemorating this day?
Thank you. So 17th of November is a global day to commemorate babies who are born too soon, the preterm babies. We define a preterm baby as a baby born before 37 weeks of completed gestation. A normal pregnancy is 40 weeks. So the importance of commemorating this day is to raise awareness that this condition, which affects 12% of all our babies in Kenya, translating to about 193,000 babies born too soon. These children are vulnerable to complications. The risk of death is higher in a baby who's born preterm. So we commemorate this day to enhance support for families and caregivers. A preterm birth affects a family. They have prolonged hospital stay. They have to take care of the baby at home. We also want to enhance support for healthcare workers to ensure that they're implementing evidence-based, high-impact interventions. And this day also gives us an opportunity to advocate for strengthening of our health systems to support the continuous management and the management of this preterm baby, both in the hospital and in the community.
Okay, mothers and mothers-to-be, where do we go wrong? What results to preterm births?
So it's not that somebody did something wrong. For we call them risk factors or predisposing factors to preterm births. So we have those that are associated with the mother. Conditions such as high blood pressure can lead to a mother getting a preterm baby. Conditions such as deformities in the birth canal. Age is an extremely important factor. We know that mothers who are young, especially the adolescent or the teenage mothers, are prone to get preterm births. We also have risk factors such as multiple pregnancies. When you have twins or triplets or quadruplets, the likelihood of having a preterm birth is quite high. Infections occurring in pregnancy can also predispose one to a preterm birth. Substance abuse, we know the narcotic drugs, alcohol, smoking. This can predispose one to getting a preterm birth, amongst other complications. And if you've had one preterm birth, the risk of getting a second one is higher. So those are some of the risk factors which, if mothers attend antenatal clinic, can be picked up early. Yes.
Let me take you back, the preterm baby. What are the survival rates from which weeks to what weeks can a baby survive?
So a baby in Kenya, we've had survival of babies born at 28 weeks, okay? So the survival rate, the very low birth weight babies, those who are, we call them extremely low birth weight babies, less than 1,000 grams, have a higher risk of dying. The ones who are between 2,500 to 2,000, survival chances are higher. So we find those who are generally below 1,500 grams are at more risk. And the reason is because of the prematurity of the organs in the body, the lungs, the heart, the gastrointestinal system. They're not able to maintain warmth. So the smaller the baby, the higher the risk of dying. And also the risk is increased if interventions are not done on time. So that can improve our survival. That is why we advocate for early identification, and we also equip our healthcare workers to manage this condition, this preterm condition. Yes.
You work at the Ministry of Health. Are there any policies that the government has put in place to ensure we end this preterm births in the country?
So as a government, at the Ministry of Health, we have what we call high impact interventions, which are implemented through our, we call it the Essential Newborn Care Package, which discusses care of all babies born, and specifically, and with a specific focus on care for the preterm baby. As I said earlier, this baby is more delicate, to put it in a layman's term, than other babies. So they need special focus. So before, we recommend as a country that all pregnant women go to antenatal clinic, at least 4 visits. So the importance of this is that complications such as high blood pressure, infections are picked early, managed appropriately, and timely referrals made where possible, because we appreciate that some levels of care are not able to take care of a preterm baby. We have also the use of what we call antenatal corticosteroids. These corticosteroids, once labor has started and there's no way of reversing it, and we know we are going to expect a preterm baby, the mother is given an injection of a steroid to help mature the lungs of the baby. One of the issues in preterms, they have problems breathing because the lungs are not mature. So that steroid injection will help in maturing the lungs. Then the minute we know we're expecting a preterm delivery at the hospital, we have policies and guidelines for adequate preparation. These babies lose heat very fast. Their skin is very thin. So for them to get what we call hypothermia is very quick. So we encourage that they're delivered in a warm area. They are put on immediate what we call skin to skin, which is for all babies, but more so importantly for these babies who are without complications. Then keeping that warm chain for that baby. So there are things we call like plastic wraps, or just keeping that environment warm. If they have complications, intervening early to manage these complications, breathing especially. They're prone to respiratory distress syndrome. So as a country, we have scaled up the use of what we call continuous positive airway pressure to help these babies breathe. So we have guidelines on this, and we'll be launching our comprehensive newborn care protocols tomorrow, which give a guide on how to manage these conditions that affect the preterm. So there's the clinical management in hospital. We also advocate for the social support for the family, counseling. It's a very traumatic event for the mother, for the family. There is prolonged stay in hospital. So we also advise on family-centered care, where we have involving the mother and the family. One of the major ways we talk about is kangaroo mother care, which is an alternative to incubators. You know, we often see incubators in hospital, but kangaroo mother care is putting a stable newborn baby who's low birth weight on the skin of the mother and having that baby stay there. The mother relaxes, the baby relaxes, the baby is able to feed. So as a government, we have enhanced the implementation of kangaroo mother care at facility level. And an important aspect is follow-up of these babies. These babies are prone to complications of the lungs, the heart, other body systems, of the brain. So it is important that once they're stable and discharged, we follow them up in the clinics and ensure that we capture any delays and support this baby adequately. Thank you.
In fact, I wanted to ask you if the skin to skin is kangaroo, because I've seen most of the times when babies who are born preterm come out of the hospital, mothers are encouraged to exercise kangaroo system of bringing up the babies for some time. We do appreciate your company. Caroline Mwangi has been our guest on set. She is the head of Division Neonatal and Child Health, Ministry of Health. She is one of the expertise in health matters. She has enlightened us ahead of World Prematurity Day tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to have you again. Now, to business news. Those in the digital space are encouraging learners to embrace ICT courses to tap the unlimited opportunities as institutions continue digitizing operations and products offered. Inua AI Solutions founder Humphrey Muchuma says there are unlimited opportunities in cybersecurity, product and software development, as well as professional services.
A study by Huawei Kenya, UNESCO and the Africa Center for Technology Studies indicates that by the year 2030, more than half of jobs in Kenya will require digital skills. The study reveals that the new income-generating opportunities will be in security, data processing and analysis, cloud computing, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence and machine learning. It is on this backdrop that Inua AI Solutions founder and managing director Humphrey Muchuma is encouraging the youth to embrace ICT, to acquire and sharpen their skills in efforts to position themselves to tap the immense opportunities in the digital space.
Where we are heading, the future of work will basically a lot of it, like say close to 80% of the jobs will be, done from home. We'll only need a few people in the office in the future. And even as we do that, we need to be really, basically we need to understand, like we are also having machines that are learning what you're doing.
Even though 9 million Kenyans are aware of digital work opportunities, 1.9 million Kenyans have secured work online under the Ajira program that is supported by the private and public sectors. Humphrey believes that we are yet to scratch the surface when it comes to online work.
And you don't need basically to have the experience, but the gap in the training aspect. So that is a gap that Inua AI is closing. So we have clients, we have business partners that you're working with, but they provide an opportunity for these young men and women to train, and they're placed, on jobs through our workforce extension program.
He was speaking in Machakos during a team-building exercise for Inua AI Solutions Kenya, which is locally owned IT company, targeting to create sustainable economic opportunities.
Micro and small enterprises will soon have access to Japanese export-oriented manufacturing training that promises to double their revenues. The administration director at the Ministry of Cooperatives and SME Development, Harun Komen, says 48 pilot businesses have been selected to jumpstart the program, where quality assessment would be done before restructuring for improved efficiency.
How you did your things yesterday should not be the same way that you do tomorrow, because the environment changes from time to time, and the needs of your customer also, they change.
To enable them integrate into the global value chain through the trade and investment, include the linkage with the foreign direct investment.
Quality and productivity improvement, financial management, and sales and marketing. You note that for farms, whether large or small, to be able to succeed and to be competitive, those are the major areas that determine their improvement.
A very good afternoon to you. My name is Daniel Wahome. Let's get the sport. France forward Christopher Nkunku has been ruled out of the World Cup after sustaining a leg injury in training on Tuesday. Eintracht Frankfurt attacker Randal Kolo Muani has replaced Nkunku, having been involved in 20 goals in 23 appearances this season with the reigning Europa League champions. Defending champions France will face Australia in their first Group D match. The FIFA World Cup finals will be broadcast live on KBC Channel 1 and all of KBC's radio stations beginning on the 20th of this month to the 18th of December 2022. World Cup, Iko KBC.
You know what it is.
France forward Christopher Nkunku will not play in the 2022 World Cup after sustaining an injury. The 25-year-old is the Bundesliga top scorer with 12 goals in 15 games for RB Leipzig. Nkunku is the latest on a list of high-profile absentees for defending champions France, which includes midfielders Paul Pogba and N'Golo Kante, and Mane scored the winning penalty when Senegal became continental champions for the first time after defeating Egypt in a shootout in the Africa Cup of Nations final.
By Lallana, Milner, Mane's spin, Mane's goal!
The West Africans begin their Group A campaign against the Netherlands on Monday before taking on host Qatar and Ecuador respectively. Meanwhile, Wales national team arrived in Qatar as they prepare to play at their first World Cup in 64 years. The Robert Page Chargers will be based at a training ground of Qatari club Al Sadd, whose facilities will also be used by Japan. Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen and Captain Gareth Bale will carry Wales' hopes in Qatar. Wales will begin their campaign against the United States on Monday in Group B before taking on England and Iran. The FIFA World Cup finals will be broadcast live on KBC Channel 1 and all KBC's radio stations beginning on the 20th of this month to the 18th of December. World Cup, Iko KBC.
You know what it is.
And with 4 days to the start of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, today in our player profile segment, we focus on Atiba Hutchison. Hutchison is a Canadian professional footballer who plays as a midfielder and captains both Super League club Besiktas and the Canadian national team. The midfielder was named the Danish Superliga Player of the Year in 2009 and 2010, becoming the first North American player to receive the award. Cup Eco KBC, and a lot of activity coming your way. Definitely listen to our radio stations. There's so much happening there. And also watch KBC Channel 1, because this weekend, everything's going to change. Maroon is going to be the theme in the studio and everywhere that we shall be coming to. My name is Daniel Wahome. It's been a pleasure hosting you on the sport. Back to you, Irene.
Thank you, Wahome. One thing you've missed out is the social media pages. The digital team is doing a good job ahead of the World Cup. Visit our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. For now, we do appreciate your feedback from our social media platforms. My name is Irene Muchuma Odem. On sign language interpretation is Byron Abule. Good afternoon.